All right. Big red button has been hit. I mean, it's a green button, which is weird, but...
Oh, well, I have also hit the big
thing.
red button.
Okay.
So, there you go. Right, now, we don't have a name for this.
No, we don't.
No.
I think we will before we put it out, though, so... Maybe we should run through names here and there as we come up with them on the way through and see if something sticks.
that'll be part of the podcast. Is us coming up with names for this project here.
Oh no! I can already see you're going to try and sneak the word meme into at least half of them.
No, that's not like me at all. Why?
Favorite fucking word.
That would be a terrible meme. Why would I do that?
It is already. There it is.
There it is. So
we started doing this. Go on. I will let you explain it then. I won't talk about you.
Okay, so the idea was, it was like a while ago, we had this idea where whenever you and I are in a video call, when we're playing, or voice call, whenever we're playing games together, somewhere along the line, it's not always about the game. And then we'll talk about some other random crap. And it ends up being decent content. But then it's too long to clip, right?
And it's completely unrelated to whatever it is that we're doing at the time. So we're trying to record a fucking Apex video and we're talking about something completely different and it ends up getting cut.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens.
And then it's kind of like it's wasted, right? Because more often than not, whenever I'm cutting vids together, I use short clips. And you tend to focus on your stream a lot, so we don't have anywhere to put all of these long-form rants. So now we have this presently unnamed meme podcast, right? And we're trying to, at the moment, get more of the ideas out in a longer, more digestible, relaxed form. Is that about where it is?
Yeah, I would say... in different words than I would choose, but sure. It's just a lot of I mean, also for me, it was like we're not getting a lot of chances to actually record anything at the moment. Any of the stuff we've got a fucking list of shit here that we're like all these ideas, and we think all these ideas are fucking good, and we've thrown so many fucking ideas out just in the garbage, and we still have easily, I would say, at least 20 to 30 hours worth of content planned that we may not ever fucking get to, just because life.
That's true. It's just life, because you and I both work full-time jobs, right? So we do streaming as a hobby. I don't think either of us can really consider it a career.
Fuck no.
I mean, there's this idea that if you're gonna treat streaming like a career, you should treat it like a career right at the beginning, even when it's not a career. And you're like, well, yeah, but I also have bills to pay.
Yeah.
And
dude, I have way too much debt for that. I have to fucking work. I have to work full time. So I can't just I admire the people who can go I'm just going to take 6 months off and try streaming and see how that goes for me. It's like, I can't even fucking take a week off and try streaming full time and see how it goes for me. I have to fucking stay going to work. I need that leave that I have. I need that for actual leave. I need that when I need a break from work and not be working streaming, or when I get sick and fucking have to not be at work.
I need that when I have bird flu, man. Okay, that's what that leaves for. All right,
I need that when
I can't roll out of bed.
Legitimate reasons that I have to be not at work, rather than, you know what Ninja's doing doesn't seem so hard. I'll just try that for a week and see how it goes. See if I can fucking get thousands of subs inside of a week.
Yeah, because everyone knows that all Ninja does is play video games and stream, and that's it. That's his entire day. He earns millions for talking shit and clicking on heads. That's how Twitch works, right?
I think a lot of people forget, when they're looking at guys like the Doc or Ninja or Shroud, they forget that they were nobodies at one point in time, and they all did stuff before the streaming that sort of got them noticed. Ninja was a professional Halo player, wasn't he? I think
he played a lot of Halo. Yeah.
The Doc's a fucking, was he marketing or something? He's gone to college and shit. He was a community manager for fucking Sledgehammer Games. He was a map designer. He's done a lot of shit outside of that, and that was something that I think he just did for fun, and because he thought he and his friends thought it was entertaining, and it just took off.
Yep.
Shroud just played a fuckload of games and did nothing else. Which
Yeah, he's also just the king of Reddit. He had so many good clips go viral.
a lot of clips go on the first page. Yeah.
But so I feel like we lost it already. We said that we wouldn't go on tangents, and we already bloody.
Well, not really, because that all ties in with this. So editing your own versus paid edit. That was the first thing. I feel like that was one of the first things that we started talking about in DMs, and I was like, no, this needs to be hashed out properly in a Discord call. We may as well record it and use that as the start of this thing that we've been talking about for months.
Yeah. So to break it down, right? We had this conversation because I'm more on the idea of editing your own content to a certain extent, right? And we'll talk more about it later. And then there was also this idea of paying somebody else to edit your videos, right? And it's a cost time analysis at face value, but I think there's more to it than that. And that's why you talk about it long form. But this is also what sort of pushed us more towards the podcast idea, was we've got stuff like this that we want to talk about, and that is we think it's all right. Like, we think other people might share that idea, or they'll have opinions that'll come back. And I think that's the first thing. We were like, right, we're going to put it on the agenda. We're going to talk about this. This is the first thing. So editing your own content versus a paid editor, right? If we want to talk about it at a base level, right, you're assuming, first off, that you are making YouTube videos as opposed to streaming, right? Not necessarily that you're making one and not the other, but you're either doing both or making YouTube stuff, right?
Yep.
Right. So how did we come about this discussion?
So it was how we came about this was, we've been talking about, it was actually one of the other videos that we had planned, and we were looking at recording 4 perspectives with a couple of other streamers, people we knew that played. Yep. I think it actually started with either GTA or Payday. It was one or the other. I think it might have been.
We've got the dump sheet here. I can go have a look.
Oh, dude, there's so many though. I just can't remember which one it was that we were going to do. We wanted to do first.
Payday's there. They're both there. There could have been either.
I feel like it was Payday that was specifically the one where I was like, okay, well, let's do this. There's a shitload of potential content there. The problem I see with it is that you're going to have 4 perspectives, each with their own set of video, their own vocal track, like microphone recording, and then the game audio. And you're going to have to go through and sync all that up, and then cut out all the bullshit in between and keep the good stuff, and see how many sort of videos come out of it. That's a lot of
different tracks.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, it's annoying enough sometimes to edit your own shit. Not so much annoying, but just time consuming. It's time consuming to edit things, especially if you're not if you're not somebody who's just been doing it forever just for fun, and they just go, oh yeah, no, this is easy, this is quick, and then like in a few hours they can just knock out something like, here's like a 5 to 10 minute video. Tell me what you think of it.
And there's also a threshold of quality as well. I think that there's some people who will slap together a few clips and throw on some music, and that does not take very long, right? If your stream's clipping things for you, right, they're hitting that button and they're giving you those 5 to 60 second clips that you can then just slap back to back and throw on your favorite Avenged Sevenfold track, right? Then you're fine. That you could smash that out really quickly.
Yeah,
but
that's not what we were going for. We were going for content made specifically to be posted on a channel. We never discussed like specifics. I think I was gunning more for like something centralized that could cross promote like all of our channels. But I remember you've said a few times that you're trying to keep your content, at least your content specifically, on your channel, so that I don't know, I guess just to see how far you could take it by yourself. And I guess that ties in with you wanting to edit everything by yourself and make all the creative decisions and everything, so that you know that if it works, good, you did that, you accomplished that. Why pay somebody?
Yep. Exactly. So
can
okay, well
understand that, but-
let's start there, right?
Okay.
So editing your own versus paying someone else. Let's talk about the procedure for editing your own, right?
Okay.
Because your starting point is if you are streaming with Twitch, part of the biggest issues with Twitch is discovery, right?
Mhm.
There are a lot of people that talk about this. Harris Heller, I know, harps on it all the time, and he did a video about it where he fixes Twitch, right? I'm doing quotation marks. You'll see it in the vid, but obviously, you're on the other side of the world, and I can't see you. Well, not on the other side of the world, you're on the other side of the country. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I live in a mining town in northwest Queensland called Mount Isa, and you're out near Perth way.
Yeah.
So we're literally
close to Kwinana, but not quite in the middle of the shit.
Yeah, so opposite ends of the country, but we know each other pretty well through streaming. Now, if you are making Twitch content, you're streaming, the general idea or the current, I suppose you could call it meta, right, for discovery is to make as much content as possible. And specifically content for the platform to which you are posting. So Gary V talks a little bit about it. Harris talks a little bit about it. There's other stream gurus like Ashni Christ. She is a big name. Have you ever heard of her?
No.
No? Okay. Well, she's got like a yam fam aesthetic and likes her purple and blue colours. That's about the best I can explain it without you viewing her. Also very spread the love, spread the positivity sort of type. I mean, that's probably the easiest way to put it, I guess.
Okay.
But the idea is that you make content for all these other platforms, and then those platforms feed attention back to your stream, right? If streaming is what you want to do as your main focus, use the other platforms for discovery or marketing, and then once they're there, the quality of your stream retains those viewers. Convert that to a subscriber, so it's a money thing, or they donate, or whatever. That's the model, right? Whether you follow that of an idea as to whether you go, oh, all I want to do for streaming is make money, which, to be fair, that's a way to do streaming, right? If you want to do streaming to make money, it will be difficult, but I'm never going to fault you for it, right? If you want to be lazy and do streaming to make like a quick buck on the side, I think the community is going to turn you away pretty quick.
Yeah.
Well,
it'll be obvious. It'll be really
get a lot of attention for not doing a lot.
Yeah.
But generally, you have these. Oh, Jesus! You have these other platforms, feeds back to Twitch, and YouTube's one of them. So you make edited content for YouTube, usually somewhere in the realm of, 5 to 10 minutes, I guess. If you're a Twitch streamer, you're usually making gaming content. So somewhere for your really high effort meme montages, you're probably looking at the 2 to 5 minute bracket. Long form vids, you're probably looking somewhere in the 5 to 15, and then a full let's play, probably 40 minutes to 2 hours. I mean, unless you see it different.
No, it seems about right. I've seen some full. I mean, I guess it depends what you're doing with a let's play. They can be shorter if you're just doing a run through for somebody, saying here's how to go about X task on X level, blah 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 blah.
Right. Yeah. So then my YouTube specifically, what I do for mine is I will try and find a game that I'm playing on stream, but I'll usually have some sort of purpose to it that is outside of whatever I'm doing on stream. Usually on stream, I'm just messing about. There's generally some semblance of what I want to do, but usually I'm hanging out and talking to chat. YouTube vids generally have an overarching theme, like the cowboy vid where everybody was in COD pretending to be cowboys and yelling out yeehaw and that sort of thing, right? That edit is 10 minutes long. It probably took me about 6 to 7 hours in the chair.
Yeah.
To get that from, and I'm sorry, that's from footage stage. So not including the time it takes me to record that footage. So that's probably 2 hours. 7 hours in the editing chair, to get that to the point where I click the button that goes upload. So that's taking the original footage, putting it on a scratch drive, doing up a thumbnail, doing up the description, doing the actual editing process, so making the video itself, and having everything ready and go and doing promo and stuff. That takes about 7 hours, right? For me, working full time, that's about 2 afternoons to an evening. But I have full creative control, which is where I see the distinction between bringing somebody else in. Because there's another practice, which is hiring an outside editor. So that's somebody else in the business. Like a lot of the Hearthstone YouTubers have other editors. Good examples, I suppose, are people like Firebat, who's a Hearthstone streamer. He has an editor, as far as I'm aware. He doesn't know it all. A lot of the League streamers have editors. A lot of the bigger Twitch streamers have editors. Crip, do you know Crip?
Nope.
Crip or Criparian used to do Diablo vids, now does Hearthstone vids. His wife edits his vids. Brian Kibler, his wife, edits his vids. So there's a certain semblance of creative disconnect, I guess you could say, because what you think is funny or entertaining when you're doing it is different to whatever your editor might think.
Yeah, I can understand that, but you do sometimes find people whose sense of humor either clicks very well with yours, or even if you do have differing opinions of what's funny and what isn't, if you understand each other's humor well enough, you can still create something that they will find funny, even if you don't find it that funny yourself.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, by the same token, what's a good example of that? Have you ever had someone edit content for your stuff?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so neither have I really. So we're probably a little bit out of the loop in that neither of us have actually had someone edit. But we've seen.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
recently,
I'm sorry. I'm lying to you. I have had somebody edit some of my videos, but I didn't upload any of it.
You never uploaded it?
It wasn't because of his edit. It was because the quality of the footage to begin with, I wasn't happy with, because I actually recorded it on. It was my old. This is my stream rig before it was even my stream rig. It was an old HP Z400 thing, and it was so underpowered that it would only record it would record at too low a resolution for me to be happy with. So it was more of like a test run to see what this guy could come up with what I had there. And the way he edited things was good. He cut out the dead space. He added some funny shit here and there to it that I think brought the quality of the video up. And it was things that I didn't know how to do. I mean, I could learn, but again, it's a time thing, and we haven't really touched on that.
It's just a technical skill you got to learn. Yeah,
it is, but it also still takes time to learn those things.
Yeah,
and that's something that I haven't fucking had, especially since we moved to this house where I'm now an hour away from work. I don't get as much time. I was doing more of this shit when I lived 15 minutes away from work, and I could just that I've lost an hour and a half out of every day. Which doesn't sound like much.
So you got a 45-minute commute.
I have an hour.
An hour commute.
An hour to and an hour from.
Oh wow. Okay, so you 2 hours out of your day that's gone.
Yes, 2 hours out of my day that's just gone. But it's an hour and a half more than I had, hour and a half less total time available than I used to have.
So
when I was editing these my own PUBG shit, it was because it was only 15 minutes to or from work, so I could just go straight home, have a shower, whatever, eat something, and then I would just sit there and fiddle around and edit.
Yeah, you can
sort of learn as I went.
You can do a whole lot of stuff with, you can record an entire footage for a vid in 45 minutes. I did a recording today for a vid that I'm doing that took an hour and a half. I've got an hour and a half of footage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's time that you could absolutely make making vids.
It's more the editing itself.
Mm.
So all I was doing was basic shit. I was just adding music to the end. I was adding title cards, and I like a lot of them were unique to the videos themselves. Some
Yep.
of them were based on, I don't know, I suppose templates that I'd already made up. But mostly it was like things had to be cut and shifted around and basically changed to make sense for that particular video, for the runtime of the video, the outros and everything. There's a lot of like tiny little cuts and things that I had to do just
Mm-hmm.
to make it work, and that would
Gotcha.
take me to make to cut down a 20-25 minute PUBG match
Yep.
and get it to a point where I was happy with it, and it wasn't like there was no wasted space, no wasted anything, and it was just the good parts of the video, what I felt was the good parts of the video. That would take me 2 to 3 hours still.
It takes a lot of time. Like, I think people look at it like, oh yeah, you're gonna have, half an hour of footage. It's gonna take half an hour to edit. No, no.
Not a
you,
chance.
you usually, I mean, unless you're using like tags to flag all of the interesting parts of the video. Generally, my process is, I'm not saying it's the best, right? Because I've never had any formal editing training. I've made like 12, 15 vids or something. I don't know how many vids I have on my YouTube. But I will scrub through the first footage. So usually I'll look at my microphone. Unless I'm looking for specific gameplay moments, I'll look at the levels on my microphone channel and scrub through to all the parts where I'm talking, right? Because then I can anchor that. It sounds really narcissistic when I said it. Like if anyone else is talking, I'm like, nah,
No.
it's not going in. But it lets me anchor to all the conversational points, and I can go, right, okay, so here we're talking about, jumping out of a plane and landing head first, or whatever, right? Like some meme that we've got, and then I can go, all right, that's going in, that's going out, this is garbage, yada yada yada. That's how I'll go through. That takes a while. And then you've got to get the timing on each of them right. And getting that like half second shaved off the end so that it just feels smooth, or adding in that half second at the end of another clip, that's time consuming. It takes you like a minute to do that for every single clip. And then if you want to put subtitles, God forbid you want to put subtitles on a video, dude. Holy crap. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to do just straight up like TV caption subtitles, it takes a while, like a really, really long time. If you want to use like dynamic subtitles, like what Fitz does, or Soviet Womble to a lesser extent. Soviet Womble goes an extra mile and motion tracks it from memory.
His subtitles are ridiculous, man. He must spend so much time on them.
Yeah. Then you're looking at 2 hours of work, easy for a 10-minute vid. Just typing it all out, getting it to come in at the right point, getting it to fade at the right point, any entry, exit graphics, any delayed reveals. Like if I'm sitting here talking to you, right, and I go, I'm a grub, right? If I do subtitles, I'm a grub, that takes me like 30, 45 seconds because I got to type it out, I got to position it correctly, make sure that the font's fine. If it's got any colors or whatever, I got to do that. I forget what it's called, the stroke, so the outside color. So if you do like the classic white and black meme text, that's how you do it. But if I want to go, I'm a grub, to do that, like go, have your subtitles go 1, 2, 3. That you have to crop it and then set keyframes. It's a whole thing. It's a giant meme, dude.
I mean, I probably wouldn't do it that way. If it was me, I'd just add them individually and get them to like pop up basically as they were required. I wouldn't have the entire phrase there and then key it out and then reveal it as you go. I would have 3 separate images or whatever that have the same, like have the words that I need. Because I'm just like, that's just how my dumb fucking brain works. It's like, well, I need to add this one here, and then this one, and then this one need to pop up like this amount of time afterwards, and then I would just move them in the timeline to pop up where they need to be.
Yeah, I mean,
what you've said sounds like it's probably better, but it's also, to me, also sounds overcomplicated. That's the other thing, because I've spent way less time on it because I just haven't had the fucking time to spend on it. I
Well,
would leave all
sorry,
that
go on.
shit to someone who knows it better than me. It's
Yeah,
the
well,
way
the end result.
it's a similar thing to. So, do you work on your car?
Well, not really. I've
When
done a
something's
lot of
broken
work
on
on
it,
my
do you,
old
do you
car,
try to
but
fix it?
no, God no, I'd pay another
Why
guy.
not? Why would
Because
you
I
pay
don't know
someone?
anything about cars.
Why don't you learn?
Takes time.
Then
Takes
this
time
is
to
the
learn.
exact same thing. I already know enough about my Ute and my previous cars to have a fair idea of what is wrong when something goes wrong. Like, fuck
Right.
it, it's one of these 2 or 3 things probably. That's going to be a pain in the ass, but fuck it, I can do it. When it comes to editing, I'm so fucking lost, and when I look at how much time I need to sink into it to get it where I need to be, it becomes a question of, do I want this video to be out anytime in the next 3 months? Because if the answer is yes, I need to get someone else to edit it, because there's no way I'm going to these things that I want to do in like with the footage. I'm not going to be able to learn how to do that in a reasonable enough time frame to get it out.
And you're a bit of a perfectionist as well.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So every little thing that I've done wrong, I will see that and go, nah, that's shit. I'm going to do it again. And I will keep doing that over and over and over until I either get it right and it's 3-4 months later, or I get frustrated with it and I go, I can't get this to where I want it. Delete. It's too late. No one's going to care about this footage from fucking 3 or 4 months ago that's now no longer relevant.
Right. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Speaking on the subject of editors, right? Whilst we were having this conversation, I pulled up a Fiverr ad for a bloke that's editing. I'll tell you what. I'll just chuck it to you through Discord, and then that way.
Do I need to show this on, or is this just for me to
I
look
mean,
at?
you can if you want, but the what I think is really interesting is this guy's ad, right? Is I will edit your video, I will edit your gaming videos for YouTube, right? And if you've ever used Fiverr before, sometimes in Fiverr, for those of you who don't know Fiverr, if you've been living under a rock, is a website where you pay people. The idea was originally it was going to be $5, and they'll just do something, anything, right? It's since then evolved into basically like a contractor finder service of sorts. So if you ever need art drawn, music made, graphics done, people you want to do voiceovers, you want them to create marketing banners, whatever, Fiverr is a great place to do that because they have a fee and then you pay them and then they give you stuff and you go away. I've had emotes made. So people have designed little images I have for my Twitch emotes. But this guy does edits for YouTube, right? And I thought that was strange because I would think that you'd pay an editor by the hour, right? Like however much or however long they were required to edit footage, then that's what it would be. But the way that this guy's done it is he's got a basic, standard, and then a premium option. But underneath, he's actually given them names. Can you see it yet?
I can see it, yeah.
Right. Have you seen what the names are?
Pro, comedy, and hilarious.
That's the titles. So where he's gone basic, he's got that as the pro option is basic, right? Is $15, 21 cents, which I imagine is a conversion rate. He's probably in the US or something, right? And he goes, 15 minutes of footage, you get a 4-minute vid, up to a 4-minute vid. It gets color graded and sound design and mixing is done, right?
Well,
so
see, I've got a problem with that immediately. Sound design and mixing. If assuming someone knows enough about OBS to record separate sound tracks for different sources, they probably know enough to be editing their own videos. At least on a basic level, what he's offering here for the basic, they probably know how to do that themselves. A 15-minute video down to 4 minutes, it doesn't take that long.
But maybe they don't want to. Maybe they just want to pay someone else to do it.
Maybe they don't want to, yeah.
So, by the same token, I think you're right. If somebody knows to record 2 separate audio tracks, they probably know that there's a way to sort that out, right? Then you've got the comedy option, all right? Now you know that you're getting serious. Okay, we were pro, but now we're comedy, Okay. It says up to 30 minutes of footage provided, up to 10 minutes runtime, color grading, sound design and mixing. But now, motion graphics. This
Just gonna add what like fucking memes and Uganda Knuckles in there to pow and boom and fucking whatever. Like, no.
It's got the zoom in with the anime lines, like Nani.
Yeah, fucking Kenshiro up there.
Every time you're doing your Fortnite edits, he's like, "Yeah, man, I've got you." So this is the comedy. All right, this is what we're talking about. Then under the quote unquote premium, but what he has dubbed the hilarious,
pure hilarious
package.
Editing. I don't want to read too much of it out because I don't want anyone to go find this and like harass him about it.
Oh well, look, I mean,
it's out there, but I just don't want to draw the wrong kind of attention to it. That's all.
Here's the. I'm giving him a lot of, I'm giving him a bit of shtick, but he could be a solid editor. There's videos here that you can use it as example. I haven't looked at it, but you'll notice that the difference between the standard package and the premium package is $30, right? The only difference is you get 60 minutes of footage and 20 minutes of runtime, but the subtitles. Like subtitles only comes in the premium version. My man here that's doing the editing, he knows how much of a pain in the ass subtitles are to put into a video.
I mean,
it is horrible.
He must know what he's doing then to be only offering subtitles on. If you want subtitles, you're gonna fucking pay me. You're gonna give me $76 if you want fucking subtitles in your video.
Everyone's like, but it's so simple. You're just adding text to the video. It's like, no, you don't understand. Okay. I'm the hilarious man here. I was about to say professional, but professional's the basic pack. I'm the hilarious man here. Okay. I set the price.
I know comedic subtitles, okay?
I am comedy. That's what I am.
Well, the other thing is it's a very easy comeback when people say, oh, but it's easy. Why can't it be cheaper? You just say, well, why don't you do it yourself then? If it's so easy, why don't you do it yourself?
That's exactly right.
Why are you paying? Why are you trying to haggle with me to do something that you're saying is easy? Why do you want to pay me less? Do it yourself. If you want to pay less money for it, pay zero. Do it yourself. That's fair, isn't it? I think that's pretty fair.
I think that's pretty fair, right? Now, as a consequence of this, right? Now let's take my vids for example, right?
Okay.
Now, so the vid I recorded today is an hour and a half of footage. All right? I know that because I looked at it. Because that's what I do.
Because I looked at it.
I looked at the footage. That's what happened.
I recorded this footage and I just put it somewhere. I just didn't even look at it.
I just looked at it. I printed it out frame by frame and left it on my desk. I just wanted to look at it.
Oh, no.
Now, let's assume that somebody picks up this bloke's editing, right? Let's go the hilarious editing, all right? 60 minutes of footage. I'm already out of this, okay? Already I've exceeded this guy's limits, okay?
So what does he charge?
No. Well, I'm assuming what's above hilarious? Guffaw level editing? Side-splitting editor?
Well, it has to be like over the top. It has to be more over the top than hilarious. So maybe like slapstick, something like I don't know.
Just full on proper meme culture.
How do you go further than hilarious?
I don't know that you can. I think this is why it's his premium service. He's offering the best of the best. Clearly,
he guarantees your video is going to be hilarious.
That's exactly right.
That's the other thing that implies.
Money back guarantee. If you're not funny, it's your fault. All right. My input is always hilarious.
Be interesting to see what happens if you just gave him footage of you just staring blankly at the screen for 60 minutes. Make this funny. Do something with this.
Yeah. So then he's got up to 20 minutes runtime, right? I don't think I'd ever put up a 20-minute vid with the way that I edit now. Maybe I'll do a 20-minute vid in the future. I don't know. But all my vids are usually around the 10-minute mark. Oh, wait, I say that, but I did upload a Slay the Spire playthrough, which was like 20 minutes or so. But color grading, I usually don't color grade my footage because it's gaming, I don't often see a need to color grade it. I mean, unless he's color grading the webcam, right? Like that's the only reason I would see that you'd need to color grade.
Personally, I wouldn't bother doing that, man. It doesn't matter how, like, is color grading going to change how fucking big my forehead looks? No. So who cares? I don't need it to look a different color. It's the same fucking size.
I need the editing package that removes my 5 head. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Where do I find that? Shit. But already I'm out of this, right? Sound design and mixing, sure. Make the voice louder than the gameplay. Motion graphics, like and subscribe, kiddos. Go for it. Subtitles, oh yeah. Whatever. But see, the other thing that strikes me about this is not only would it not work for me, right? Because I have so much footage that I go through, right? Or maybe that's even the problem, right? I have so much footage that gets cut down to so little, right? I don't know whether it's just because I record and I have big dead zones, and maybe that's on me. Like maybe I could have shorter recordings. But for the footage I recorded today, I had a very specific objective that took longer than 60 minutes, right? Having an editor like this isn't going to work in situations like that. But it's different to the argument to say, do you want full creative control, or do you want, do you just want to make that content, make it available? Because I suppose another argument is if you're not willing to have an editor, then you're just not making content you could be making. Like maybe that's the decision, right?
Well, that's where it comes from for me. So there's two. The example you've provided there is a random guy on Fiverr. That's not what I was talking about when I approached the subject with you of like, hey, like I feel like we could put out more content and higher quality content more often if we just handed this over to someone else. And you've explained your side of it, and I was like, yeah, no, that's fair. I understand that completely. But for me, I know someone already who I know will do a good job of editing that content, and he's able to do. I've seen multiple edits from him, so I know that he's not just like, he doesn't just have like his one style and then that's it.
Yeah,
I know there are editors like that. From watching, I've been watching Funhouse since they started.
Yeah,
I actually caught them when they were still Inside Gaming before they left Machinima, like, I don't know, a month or two before they left Machinima.
Yep.
Anyway, one of their guys, Matt Peak, people had a hard time nailing down, like people could tell which videos James had edited, which ones Lawrence had edited, blah, blah, blah. But people couldn't nail down which ones Matt Peak had edited. They didn't know which ones he'd edited. And that was because he was able to more or less copy everyone else's style of editing that he'd been working with for however long, to the point where you couldn't even tell if it was actually their edit or one of his, because he knew how they edited things, what they wanted, like the jokes they used, their style,
could just,
basically.
Just assume their artistic style.
Basically.
I say artistic style because I think there's an art in editing. There really is.
Definitely. Yeah. Like, I mean, guys like Soviet Womble definitely,
God, I mean, we come back to that guy again. He's just on another level. He's just next level. Did you ever watch The Peace Pigeon?
No, I haven't. I've only seen I haven't seen that many of his videos. I've mostly watched the Armor ones because that was just at the time I was playing a bit of Armor, and that was what I found funny and entertaining.
Yeah.
I've seen some of his PUBG stuff. I haven't watched him for a long time, so he's probably done maybe like 3 videos since I last watched him, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because he fucking uploads like
Pigeon
twice
or
a
Womble?
year.
Pigeon
Womble,
or Womble?
I'm talking about.
Womble.
No. Yeah. I don't know the other name. I don't know the other guy you're talking about.
He was a league YouTuber. He's also quite good.
Why would I watch that?
Well,
I mean, you know that I'm not interested in that stuff. But that's the other thing as well. There's a lot of content that I'm never going to touch because I don't give a fuck about the game. I don't give a shit about the content at its core. I'm not ever going to be interested in that kind of stuff. So there's probably heaps of like really well edited and well thought out and funny content that I'm never gonna click on. I'm gonna scroll straight past it if it ever gets suggested to me because I don't like the game that's being played.
I'd go even one further. I reckon that you and I are never going to see some of the beautifully color graded and sound designed beauty YouTuber footage. Like all these people doing makeup and stuff, and they've got microphones or whatever, and the editor comes in, they're like, right, well, my job is to take this 25 minutes of footage and make it look and sound as best as possible, right? So I think that's when you get your minute details, right? I reckon that's when you get the guy that's sitting there with, you know, the Coke bottle glasses, and he's like, right, do I need this to go 3 decibels higher or 2 decibels higher? Like that's the level of finesse I think you'd have.
He's serious.
Because with us,
it's got a 3440 by 1440 monitor, curved.
That's exactly right. Yep, he's editing in 4K. Like, jeez. Or like tech YouTubers are a good example. Those guys would have crazy good editors.
All these $75 hilarious level Fortnite videos that I'm just gonna miss out, man.
$75 Fortnite vids. Yep, that's it.
Oh well.
Yeah. So I suppose the takeaway from that, right, is I think you just sort of got to figure out what you want. I think you got to figure out whether you want to make content you could otherwise not make, and whether that's more important to you than having full creative control.
Well,
right?
It was interesting when you said that the way that you were putting it to me was like, if anyone who is not editing, at least this is how it came across, and I'm not sure if this is how you meant it or
this is
not.
the chat that we had in like DMs. This is
This like last week or week before. I can't remember now. It was could have been last week maybe.
Oh no, man, we talk a lot.
Yeah. So the way that it came across to me, and it probably was just because it was messages, but I could also be spot on with what you were saying. But it seemed like you were saying that if you are not editing your own content and you have the time and means to, you're lessening. Would you say you use the words artistic integrity? So it's the content is lesser for it. And I don't necessarily see it that way personally, because I think if I was to edit the video, I would either run out of time or skill to make it as much as it could be. And the core content, like my personality, my jokes, my gameplay is all still there. It's just that somebody else is picking it apart and deciding what should stay and what should go. And in some ways I see a benefit to that, because there may be things there that just because I'm such a fucking weirdo, I'm like, this was really good, and I'm going to leave it in the video, and then it'll never get a reaction. Yeah, it'll never get a reaction, because to the majority, they're going to watch that and go, what the, like, why?
It'll be like a Metal Gear Solid reference from 6 years ago or something.
Yeah, or
like,
a joke about...
That's hilarious!
You know, jokes about Jerry Rafferty drinking himself to death, and most people don't even know who the fuck he is, and I'm like, the Baker Street
I don't know who that
like,
guy
what?
is.
Yeah, like, what the fuck is that? I'm 30, but really I'm 50. With some of my references. Like,
that's worth a $75 editor. That joke's worth that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's a $75 Fortnite editor.
It might be worth the $75 to have them edit that out, because they didn't understand it, and neither would most of the people click it on the video. You know?
That's it. That's why you pay the money. For them to censor you,
to basically, to remove all the shit that otherwise I'd be like, no, that was a good joke. I'm leaving that in, and people will laugh and enjoy it.
And they're like, no.
That was shit.
That one's going on the cutting room floor.
Oh wow, you failed really fucking hard here. I'm gonna make sure to meme the shit out of that and make that like the main part of the video.
Absolutely.
Great.
Man, you imagine if somebody filmed a video with you and then took your perspective and only ever put in the parts where you made horrible plays and never the parts where you put in decent plays?
I swear that's happened before, at least once.
I swear that's happened before. Man, I can't imagine anybody that would have ever done that and done that to somebody else.
Like inside of the last year, maybe. I don't know.
So I said something. I'll take you at your word without looking back through my DMs. But I think what I meant was, for me, if I've got the time and the will to do it, right? And I have the option of hiring an editor, right? Or the time and skill, sorry, not the time and will, because the will is whether you go for the editor or not, right? Time and skill to edit that video. I think I get more pride out of creating the video. And I think that's got value for me, right? Because then I can go back and watch the video in a month's, 2 months' time or whatever and be like, yep, that was the thing that I did. You know, it's kind of like when the carpenters talk about building something with your own hands, right? So they look at a table and they're like, yup, made that table. For me, it's yup, made that vid, you know? And yeah, your vid can be objectively good, right? You can be like, that's a funny vid or that's a shit vid, you know? But by the same token, there's also a little bit there, which is an element of pride, which is, yeah, I made that as well. And I think it's different as well. And I think that's more important to me, that little element, than maybe it is to most people, right? Because some people will go, well, you don't have to be so arrogant about it. You don't have to, have such a heavy input.
That's definitely how it comes across sometimes. That's definitely how it comes across sometimes. But I think it's a choice of like the correct choice of words can get that across a bit better. Where it's like, well, no, it's not that I think I'll do a better job than anyone else. It's that I know how I want this. I know what end result I want from this. And if I hand it to somebody else, I may not get that end result.
It's that, and it's also just quite simply, and I want to do it myself.
Yeah,
yeah, that's it. It's just literally just I want to do it. I
mean, you use the word art really at its like if you want to break it down to make it very very basic. I don't know of many artists who would like draw an outline and say I'm just going to get somebody else to fill in the colors.
Yeah,
they can they can color the sun in this house and whatever else that I fucking.
Exactly.
Just like an outline. It's like a black and white outline, and then just somebody else can color it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Look what I did, guys. I made this thing.
And it only goes so far, right? It's unreasonable to think that for like a Hollywood film that you can direct and film and act and all that sort of stuff. There's a threshold.
What we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. There's a threshold where you need other people, and you need other people to do things for you, and that makes sense, right? It's necessary, or it's part of the process, right? But I think in this scenario, it can be a one-man job. It doesn't need to, so it creates a different kind of environment. But I was about to springboard off the fact that it's an element of pride and liking what you're doing, because you and I saw a very funny or a very interesting YouTube video about one particular streamer who did not have such a good stream as she described it.
Oh, yeah. Am I bringing this up now?
I can hear the disappointment in your voice already.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
Do you describe what happened in this vid? Because do we want to play it on stream? Do you want to add it in, or would you rather just describe what happened?
I think I'd rather just describe it and then maybe add a link later and say like.
Okay, right. So if you're listening to this now, then you can go and find the link. We'll put it in there somewhere.
So the title of the video is How to Destroy Your Streaming Future in 30 Seconds or Less, and it's by Memology 101. I don't really watch many Memology videos because a few of them that I've seen were like, I don't know. I didn't really agree with what they're saying. It's like they've whittled it down kind of a bit too basic, like too.
Well, that's their thing, right? They whittle it down to short form content. So Memology 101's a YouTube channel. They do short form content, usually 2 to 3 minute videos. It's usually text, commenting regarding a video, and I'd almost put it in like a sensationalist news category. Yeah? They have a really quick turnaround on their vids. It's about current moments, and they put that in, and you go, right, this is what's happening. So anytime Alinity fucking sneezes, Memology's all over it.
Well, I mean, that's not really fair. Every time Alinity sneezes and accidentally her vagina fell out, oh no, and everyone saw it.
Or her dog turns up. That's anytime Alinity's pets are anywhere in frame.
I don't know. That wasn't even Alinity, was it? I don't even fucking know. I don't know, man.
Alinity did that. That was the cat. Alinity yeeted her cat.
Yeah, she's the one who threw the cat. I'm talking about like, I don't know. There's too many that have been like, oh, accidentally showed a nipple or a full-on tit, or my vagina was like I had little shorts on and no undies underneath. or feet even, which apparently is against terms of service. I don't even know.
We should also clarify, this is on Twitch. This is people
This is on
streaming
Twitch.
on
Yes,
Twitch,
this
right?
is live on
we
Twitch,
sort of did like a weird switch from YouTube to Twitch, but we're talking about Twitch again, right? We're talking about Twitch, but a YouTube vid about Twitch, which makes it even more complicated.
Because it's all starting to like cross over and tie together, especially because I mean YouTube, you can stream on YouTube anyway, so it's all streaming, it's all content. It's just
well, okay. For the moment, we'll talk about Twitch in the streaming concept and YouTube in the video on demand.
Yeah, it's fair.
Okay.
Even though they
To
both
avoid,
do both.
but they both do both, but one does one better than the other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, this memology vid has a clip of a female streamer, right?
Yep.
And how would you describe what happens in this clip? We'll try and avoid.
I mean, I can just
naming
run
this
through it. I can
streamer.
just run through. I'm not going to name it. If anyone who happens to be watching this wants to go through and find it, we've given the name of the video and the account it's on. We'll probably put a link in the description as well if this ever goes up. So
I think it's in the vid.
Find
it's
it.
in the memology vid as well. So
Yeah, it
even
probably
if it's
is.
not there,
I don't
you
know.
can go to that one and find it. Yeah.
I didn't even see their name. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Yeah. By the
Doesn't
same
make any difference to me.
token, you don't need to go to this streamer's channel and give a shit for it. I think she's
Nah.
already copping enough.
She's probably man. Like if she even still is streaming anymore after this. Like,
That's true.
probably not.
Okay.
So what happens, at least from what I can remember, because I'm not watching the whole fucking video again.
righto.
She thinks she ended her stream. She didn't.
Which, by the way, is a very dangerous sentence to hear as well. Like the amount of times you go, they thought they ended their stream, is used as clickbait.
A lot of people, I feel like as soon as you say that, a lot of people immediately think, oh, they looked at porn. They started looking at porn and straight away.
Jerked off.
Yep. on stream
Spank
for
the
everyone
monkey.
to see.
That's it.
As if you wouldn't notice your chat going off. You wouldn't notice like any of the other things that are indicators that you are still live right now, broadcasting to an audience. But anyway, so she thought she had ended her stream. She didn't. She calls her boyfriend on speakerphone, which is fucking gross. Just put the phone to your head. What's wrong with you?
Or maybe it's on Discord.
I'm pretty sure it's on her phone.
Okay, all right, okay.
I'm pretty sure it was her phone.
You can hear the boyfriend, right?
You can hear it.
But
anyway.
you can hear it. Right.
Because it's coming out of a... No, I'm sure it's her phone because it's coming out of a speaker. You can hear it over the mic. Like, sounds garbage quality.
Oh, so it like loops.
Yeah, anyway. And then she says to him that she had a shit stream. It was a boring stream. What'd she say? I tried to milk it because I wanted a donation.
That's
and when
right,
he asked
yes.
if she got one, and she's like, no. And she's just super, like, just bummed that no one threw money at her because she was there.
Yeah, and she said it was a fucking boring stream, I think was her words. It was really fucking boring. Yeah,
yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and the other thing that I noticed is she is small time. And I say that not from a position of height. I say that because I am also small time, right? Because she's got a follow count at the top left, sort of. Mm-hmm. And it says like 150 out of 175 new friends, which I assume to mean followers. Yeah?
New friends, new cash cows.
Yeah. Well, that was it, right? Because I sent this to you and I was like, man, that is horrible, right? And not even on the fact that she's done that and left the stream on, she's such an idiot. Like, yeah, well, one, yes. Like, you left your stream on, you're an idiot. You shouldn't have done that. You should know. Right? You should recognize that unless you're running a monster PC or you've got a 2-stream PC setup, if you've got a 2-stream PC set, 2 PC stream setup, and you're making that kind of mistake, you shouldn't have spent that much money, right? But you should be seeing the draw on your CPU. You should see a performance dip, right? There's no reason why you should not be able to notice that your stream's still on.
Yeah.
Like that's dumb. You started off with being dumb. Yeah, you're just not paying attention, right? But then she follows that up with, all the people following me are horrible, or I didn't get a donation, right?
I don't think she called them horrible. I think she just said that she didn't get a donation, and she was trying to...
That's right. She was disappointed that other fucking regular people weren't chucking money at her. which is just the wrong way to go about it. And see, you and I briefly discussed this before, and then we were like, no, we'll wait for the podcast to like really get stuck into it, because even if she wasn't on stream and she made that sort of comment, if you were a streamer yourself, you'd say, hey, you shouldn't be streaming if that's your position. Right?
Yeah, no, I was talking about somebody else that we both know. I was like, if I ever heard that person say that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a good example, right?
Stop streaming then. You're streaming for the wrong reason. If you're streaming specifically to have a dono goal that you expect people to donate to, stop streaming. Like we both have dono goals up for at different times for different reasons. I very rarely have them.
And look, we should say there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money through Twitch, I think, and there's nothing wrong with having a donation
value
goal.
Back to the audience for it, and you certainly can't expect people to just throw money at you simply because you are there live streaming, because there's so many fucking streamers. It's so easy to get into streaming now.
Yep.
Like the choices are just fucking so vast, man. There's just so many fucking people.
You need to provide content of equal value.
Yeah. Like the most popular thing that I've offered to do all sorts of fucking random shit if people want to throw money at me for it, because I'm not going to suffer for nothing. But
that's right. Shoeies.
That's the thing that people, for some reason, people really want to see me drink beer out of a fucking shoe.
Look, that is a great Australian tradition, and I will always celebrate the shoey. Absolutely. Didn't you get like $120? I bought you cod or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was like 5 shoeys or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so every $20 fucking triggers a shoey. Yeah.
That was good. That was a good time.
You still have a few left, I think, that you
I still have 2, I think. I've still got 2 shoeys. So. It's like the How I Met Your Mother slap bet, where where Marshall gets like 5 slaps or something, and then Barney's forever living in fear of getting slapped. But this is shoeys. Yeah, so whenever you're on stream, I'll be like, hey, I'm in, how about that shoey? Huh?
Or you're coming to chat. You're looking a bit thirsty there. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you're looking a bit thirsty.
I bought a new pair of shoes today for that too. So.
Yeah. So there's 2 things in this video, right? Circling back to this memology vid that really struck both you and I is the first is what I described as the big oof moment, right? Where this girl says, no one donated, everything sucks.
Yeah.
Right? Which you go, as a viewer, I think you go, oof. As a content creator, you go, oof. Right? Because that's a huge blow to your image and your brand and whatnot. But
it gives all of us a fucking it gives all of us a bad image, because then anytime any of us has some sort of dono goal or saying like, hey, I'll do X if you give me Y amount of money, it just makes us look like that's the only reason we're there. When really it's exactly just that sometimes people want you to do things for entertainment that can be potentially disruptive to your experience and the experience of others. So at least if you're giving them that, they're giving you something as well. Like I'll use Twitch as an example in Tarkov. You know that if you die in a raid, you can lose all your gear, right? If it's not not insured, or if somebody loots it, it's gone. So
hang on, explain Tarkov to anybody that hasn't played it. So Tarkov's like, I mean, I know a lot of people know what Tarkov is.
To keep it as short as possible, when you go into a level, it's a raid. So you go in to do a raid. You spawn at one of the spawns on the map. Your extracts, the way that you get out, will be usually on the opposite end of the map somewhere. You have to get to an extract while either completing tasks or just doing whatever the fuck it is that you want to do, killing random AI scavs or other player scavs or PMCs. Your main character will be a PMC. That's a character that you can bring in whatever gear you have in your stash. So when you extract,
you get in, survive, loot, get out.
Get out. That's pretty much it.
Right.
If you die in a raid, everything that you have on your persons, besides what is inside your secure container, which is another thing. I mean, really, if anyone wants to know this stuff and they don't already, they could just go look it up. There's several videos that explain it way better than I will. But the point is, if you die in a raid, you can be looted, and all of your things that you have can be taken by somebody else. And if they take them and manage to make it to an extract, they have that gear. That's their gear now.
So it's very high risk scenario, because you want to go in with good gear, but if you go in with good gear, you potentially can lose all of it.
That's right. If you play well enough and you take in good gear, you've got a better chance of survival. That's completely countered, though, if chat demands that you drop a nade on your own feet, which is what happens to Twitchy. Now, he set a price on that. He set $20 on that, and then it doubles every time somebody does it.
Right.
That's not because he's money hungry, but it's to minimize, like, he could easily lose his entire stash in one stream, like inside of an hour, if he just kept kitting up, going into a raid, and then somebody drops $20 on him.
Drops bones.
Yep, he just keeps throwing grenades at his feet. His whole fucking stash is gone.
But
that can happen.
That's just chat being chaotic evil.
It's chat being shitheads, yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, when they come and see him and they see all the good gear he has in his stash and how much money he has in game, it's like, man, fuck this guy. He can stand to lose a bit.
I want to mess this guy's day up.
And like throwing that $20 at him is going to, that's going to take away from that sting. Like, it's still, I can see that it still annoys him every now and then. He's like, oh fuck, you picked now. Like, they'll wait till he's looted way up. Like, he's killed a few raiders or PMCs or scavs or whatever, and he's looted them. He's got some good shit. He might be heading out. Someone donates $20.
Right.
Drop a nade on your feet and lose all that gear.
Now, where were we going with this? Where
I was going with that is that the video, after showing the clip of this chick, it then says, not all streamers are like this, but most are. I don't think that's accurate.
Because he says, because there's beggars and grifters.
Yeah,
I think was the words he used.
Something like that.
He labeled streamers as beggars and grifters, and then he quantifies that with, exactly. But not all of them are like this. And I was like, okay, cool, thanks, man. And then he follows it up with, but most of them are. Yeah.
And when you think about it, man, $20 for a shoey, okay? I have to make sure I have shoes here that I can use, because they're fucking destroyed. When you start drinking beer out of them, they go moldy so fast. They start growing.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you've got like what?
There's a cost
week
there for me.
Yeah.
And then beer as well on top of that. Like, a beer that I could otherwise just relax and enjoy has now been poured into a shoe and then fucking drank as quick as I can before it leaks out the sides all over my desk and, everything. So it's entertaining for everyone else, and I don't mind doing it. It's funny to do sometimes, but like, ultimately that there is a cost involved in that for me.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm not begging for fucking money. I don't beg anyone. I flat out refuse to do it for a long fucking time. And eventually someone asked me, what's it going to take for you to do a shoey? And I said, you know what? Give me $20. You give me fucking $20 and I'll do a shoey. And they did. I didn't expect it, but it happened. And then there was, your whole mic and whatever. I did not expect.
Yeah. When I started out, I didn't have a proper microphone. Now I've got this Rode microphone, but that was money raised through your stream.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect to do it in one night. I certainly didn't even expect to hit the entire lot, but people saw that the money wasn't going to my pocket. It was going to help out another streamer, and they were going to get to watch me, I suppose, do something stupid and potentially suffer along the way.
Yeah, there's an added benefit to that. This is why I think people like donating to charity streams as well. I mean, there's that sense of doing something for good, but you always get something out of it, Like, you get to watch someone shave their head or something like that,
Yeah, let's not talk about shaving heads.
That's true.
But I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to get asked about that.
I mean, it'd be worse for you. You've got hair that's grown for 2-3 years, whereas when I got my buzz cut, it was probably about only a year, I think. Took to get it to that length. But there was this idea that Twitch streamers are grifters and e-beggars, which I think the e-beggars get a lot of publicity, but they don't represent the majority. I think it's quite the opposite. I think
they get a lot of publicity because what they're doing is wrong, and it's not so much even wrong, but it's like go do it if you want. But I mean, you're gonna draw negative attention to yourself, and then people will always latch on to that more so than hey, check it out, this streamer raised $350 for another streamer just through doing shoeies on stream. That's not going to get much attention at all.
No.
As opposed to some chick going, oh man, I didn't get any donations. Everyone sucks. My followers suck. It was a shit stream.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna fucking.
Yeah.
Of
That's
course, people are gonna
blow
latch
up.
onto that.
I mean, there was that Bad Bunny clip from a while ago where she says, he's like, how do you join the call? She's like, no, you don't. You non-donating, non-subbing fucking poor. Those were her words.
Jesus
You use poor as a noun. Never mind the fact that that's an incorrect use of the term, but you're a poor. That's what you are, a poor. And I was like, okay, well, you can just say like literally any other word to say that they've got no money. But I imagine that's
you
beyond
can't join me. I don't want you
Okay.
to play games with me. I might catch poor.
Your poverty is infectious. Your empty wallet will suck all the money out of my wallet and then burn it. Yeah, right. Just grub. And I think it's completely the opposite. I think the vast majority of the Twitch community, not just content creators like streamers, I'm talking like viewers and everybody, deliberately will turn on you for doing stupid shit like that. Mm-hmm. Now, there's an exception, which is the white knights that like to gift hundreds upon hundreds of subs to hear somebody read their name out because God knows they've never touched a woman in 3 winters whilst they've had their armor on. But there are a lot of people who will come after you if you try and even like remotely they think that you might be doing that sort of stuff. And I think you only really know that when you're on Twitch. Like if you're starting out, right, and you look at all these other streamers and you sort of sit there and you go, okay, well, what have these other guys got that I need? I need a webcam border. I need some way to put chat. I need alerts done up. So I need whenever someone follows or subs, I can have that and I'll have chat up so I can read it. And I should probably have like a sub, follow or donation goal, right? And, you trying to emulate what other people are doing, you set this all up, and then some guy will come into your chat and you'll be like, what are you a donation goal for? You're just doing it for the money, you beggar. And you're like, mate, I just wanted to play video games and have a chat to some people. Yeah. I just, wanted to make people laugh. And they'll be like, why do you need a donation goal then? And you're like, well, fucking, I don't know. Like, that's what everyone else is doing, I've seen people like that. I've seen one poor bloke. I tell you what, he was looking for a C950, right? The Logitech webcam.
950.
And yeah, I think it was running like $200. And he was like a 70 follower streamer. And he was like, donation goal for C950. I was like, you know what, man? Good on you, right? Your first goal is a decent webcam. He wasn't streaming with a webcam at the time. He's clearly done his research. He knows pretty much what he wants. He's shooting pretty high off the bat, but at least he's not asking for a DSLR, right? At least he's not like, I need $1,200 for a Sony A560 or whatever the fuck, right? He's going, I'm going to get a Logitech C950. This is my goal. And I remember going into this guy's stream because I was looking for someone to host, and he was getting absolutely roasted by this dude in chat who was like, yo, why do you want a webcam? Because then we're going to have to look at your face and that's going to bring your stream quality down. I was like, dude, like, holy, you don't even know what this guy looks like, but he's out here throwing knives. He's like, yo, I don't want to look at your 6 head. keep it inside. I was like, man, and I think there's a way to do it correctly. And I think it's all about the intention and it's the way that people see it, right? Like my donations, they all go towards improving the stream quality, right? And there's a difference between something that improves stream quality and something that is good for the stream, for you, the streamer, right? Like buying a new keyboard is good for the streamer. Making too much noise and infecting the audio, usually something like that is for you, right? Or a gaming chair is probably a better example, right? That's better for you, not better for them. Or a better monitor, better for you, not better for them. A better capture card, a better webcam, a better microphone, to a certain extent, better hardware makes a better stream. And that's what you should go to. But it shouldn't be your main goal. Your main goal, I think, for most streamers, as a baseline, should be to create entertaining, engaging content. then everything splinters off. If you want to create that content and make money from it, that's fine, as long as you're providing content that's entertaining and engaging, right? Because then you can be like, yeah, I just spent such and such long, investing in creating videos. Yeah, I mean, I might expect that somebody might want to pay for that down the line. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you want to sit in front of a camera because you're 22 and you know how to wear a top with, spaghetti straps, then and expect people to pay you money, then
yeah, look. I mean,
to the same extent that's true. We do know somebody like that.
We know one who, inside of being affiliated, I think the first month, I sat down and watched all of the gifted subs. I looked at all the gifted subs.
I think we're thinking about the same event. Are we talking about that one time where there's like 250 gifted subs in one night?
I don't know about that. I'm just talking. We're probably talking about the same streamer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names though.
No.
But when I sat down and added up all the gifted subs, bits, all the bit donos and all the other donations as well, because it was all on display there. Like it was all like tracked there. There we could see it, and it worked out to be that this person's first month as an affiliate payout was going to be just over $2,000 US.
Jesus.
I'm sure I told you about this at the time. I was like, dude, I did the math on
this.
No,
I didn't know about this. 2,000.
Over 2,000 US.
Bloody hell. No wonder they kept at it.
Mm-hmm.
Holy
on top of that, the person
my first month streaming, I think I got negative 50 from all the money I spent trying to keep my stream up.
Okay, but you have no titties, so
that's wow.
I've also definitely spent way more on the shit I have here set up than I ever got back. That's what I think is funny. I've had a couple people coming in and being like, why do you stream? Like, why you just asking like, why should I? Someone asked like, why should I pay you money? I was like, you don't have to. There's nothing.
You can go elsewhere.
This is all here for free. You don't have to sub to me. You don't have to pay me a fucking cent.
That's right. And I'm not going to bitch and moan at the end of the day if you don't.
I don't treat. I guess sometimes I do treat subs a little bit differently, only because they're able to like use emotes and shit, and I'll react to them, and regular just normal people who've dropped in out of nowhere, and they haven't. And
more often than not, subs are regulars.
Subs are usually regulars as well, so I know them a bit better, so I can have not so much a better conversation, but I can have a conversation.
You can have a more involved conversation.
Yes. That's a good way of putting it. Whereas a random person, I can still have fun like talking to a random person and joking around with them and shit. But there's nothing like I don't know who they are. I don't know who the fuck they are. So I can only take that so far. I can only talk about what's happening right now. I can only ask them questions. I can only try and learn about them. And the people who come in and they're immediately like, why do you have a dono goal, blah, 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 blah. Typically, like dono goals have been to try and help sort something out that would help the stream itself out or help somebody else's stream out. So the last 2 or 3 that I had, one was your mic and whatever.
That's a long time ago now. I think that might be like 9 months.
Yeah, it's quite a while ago now. The one after that might have been the Edge router. But no, that was before because Tiny and I were having trouble streaming at the same time. Our router was a piece of shit.
So you needed a better router, yeah.
I just wanted something better so I could have a bit more control over what was happening. So that was an improvement for sort of both streams.
Mm-hmm.
And the one after that was when we were moving, and to try and get it done quicker and to not have it interrupt the streams so much. It's easier to like moving house, man. It's so much easier when you have a cushion of money.
Oh yeah.
If it's running tight with money, it means you have to do a lot of shit yourself, and I'm fine with doing that. But it was basically going to take the stream out of commission for fucking 2 or 3 weeks just because of all the shit that we had to get done. Not so much like people say, oh, moving house is easy. It's only like 1 or 2 days you can move house. Like, yeah, but you're forgetting like we were renting. I think a lot of people who were coming to my stream were not like they lived at home still. So when they move, their parents are doing all the dealing with real estates and or whatever the fuck else is happening. If they're selling a house, I don't know, all that bullshit, that's completely
Yep.
outside of what they have to deal with. So from their perspective, all they had to do was pack all their shit up, put it into truck or whatever, take it to the new place, unpack it. Look, we're done.
Mm.
We have power already. We have like they didn't have to deal with any of the utilities. They didn't have to deal with cleaning up the old place, getting it ready to basically hand the keys back, dealing with the real estate before and after, because it's never over. Once you've handed the keys back and your lease is up, you still have to deal with them about
Yep.
getting your fucking bond back and shit.
I'll slow you down for a second because I have to pee. I have like needed to pee for like 5 minutes, and I've been trying so hard to like. I'm gonna die if I'm. You look at the footage, you see me fidgeting. Hang on.
Just go for it, man. Just go.
Dude, let me tell you, that was the best piss I've ever had.
Oh, come on now. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
That was okay. I don't know. So you'll see it, right? But I've had this like 1 liter water bottle here, and I've just been sipping from it as we've been chatting. That last 5 minutes, it was like, "Hey man, heard you wanted to pee," and I was like, "Nah, look, I'm actually pretty good." He was like, "No, you want to pee right the fuck now?" And I was like, "Oh god!" So I was like, "I'll just, I gotta go. It's gotta happen." Oh my lord!
All right, now that ordeal is finished. So what was I? I know it probably sounded like I was getting off track, but I wasn't. So the moving costs are fucking crazy, and like
this is when we'll have the sponsor read. When we do the sponsor read, that's when I'll go to the bathroom later on. We'll get some coffee company or something to sponsor us.
So both Tiny and I had goals up. Basically, if anyone wanted to throw money at helping us get that sorted quicker, it would have meant that, and we did. We got a little bit of money towards it. I wasn't expecting very much at all. We actually got more than I expected to happen because we could handle the whole thing by ourselves, but it was going to take time because at that time of year I couldn't take time off work. My work was too busy for me to have leave, so I couldn't just take a week off and just move house, and it was done.
Right.
So having that money meant that we paid people to do some like a fair chunk of the cleaning, like almost all the cleaning for us.
Bond cleaning, yeah.
Yeah. Because like we could have done it, but it would have meant that we had to sacrifice time out of like she was still at uni then too. She was doing uni stuff as well, and she had exams coming up, so she didn't have much time to do any of that shit either. It just meant that we could focus more on just moving what we needed to, throwing out shit that we didn't need, and then getting ourselves set back up to go straight back into everyday life, streaming, all that normal shit.
Yep.
So that was what, like, at first I fucking agonized over those dono goals because I was like, why should anyone else pay for us to move house? And they shouldn't.
That's exactly right, yeah.
But it was also it was more to the point, like, the quicker we get this done, the less downtime our stream has. So that's the way I approached it. Like, guys, if you want to help, this money will go towards getting our fucking shit sorted and get us back up and running quicker.
But here's the thing. I think the fact that you feel guilty about it already is justification enough to have it be something that if you did put it up, it would be okay. I know that's a weird way of saying it, but I think if your first point of call was, I need to move house, I need money, fuck it, Stream can pay for it, right? Stream can help out with that. I don't think that's the good. Well, that's a horrible way to put it, right?
Yeah.
Like it should always be like, I think if you are already feeling like that's a bad idea, you're probably then sort of like you're looking at it from the perspective of, yeah, I'm conscious that that's not a bad thing, and I'm usually that's probably where I'm okay with it again. Is if you're conscious of the fact that this is something, or you're conscious of how that might look, there's a certain level of guilt about it. I'm less likely to get angry because I know you're not entitled. I know you're not entitled. That's a different meaning. I know you're not acting entitled when you shouldn't be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm less angry at somebody that is so self-aware enough to realize that other people shouldn't. You shouldn't need to receive donations. You're not entitled to people donating on your stream, right? If nobody is donating and nobody is subbing, your stream's garbage or broken. That's the only two options. That's it, right? Because Twitch has so many people watching it at the moment. It has such a huge share of the market. If you do not receive subs and donos, your stream is either poorly marketed. Okay, excuse me. You may not be garbage if you've just started out, right?
Yep.
But it's either horribly set up in terms of discovery. Whether that is intentional or unintentional is besides the point. The fact of the matter is, it's not in a position where it is either out there well enough, it's discovered enough, or it is not of so great a quality that nothing is happening, right? My stream, okay, I've been doing this for a year. It's still very scuffed, okay, from when I look at it, right? I look at my stream and I'm like, man, I could fix that. Oh, I could fix that. I could do things with that, right? And I have a certain level of people that subscribe every sort of month or so, but I'm never sitting here going like, I deserve more. You know, like, people should be throwing more money at me. Like, I sit in my room and talk about memes and play video games. My job as a professional is to stand up in court and argue cases, right? I'm trained to do that, right? I'm allowed to sit down and go, I should be paid for this shit, right? I'm allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to say that when I come to streaming. I've been doing this I've been playing video games for years and years, but so has everyone else, right? I've been creating content for 9 months. I don't get to sit in the chair and go, you know what? I deserve more than that. Like, people should be throwing more money at me. And you know what? It's their fault. It's their fault they're not throwing money at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Not my fault.
Exactly. If you're not going to offer them anything, like what other than just gameplay, if you're just going to offer them somebody sitting in front of a screen playing games, like you don't deserve any more than what you're getting.
What you're getting. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. You don't deserve any more than what you get. That's it. And I mean, you know, there's some argument as to, you know, oh, what if your category or your game is dying, you know, and you're still a good content creator, but it's a very niche element. It's like, yeah, but you also have a responsibility to move with the market if money is your goal.
I think also that, like, okay, so let's say there's a very small community for a certain game.
Well, Quake. Let's say Quake, for example, because the Spud Hunter is an excellent streamer.
Spuddy's doing pretty fucking well for himself, and he's kind of moved away from Quake now, only because the game is so dead that he's getting NA servers. He was getting NA servers.
That's right.
Man. It's literally
and he's shifting more to Apex now.
I've seen him playing Apex, playing Call of Duty. He's played some Tarkov. He's a shooter. He plays shooters.
Yeah, he does. Usually,
but that's
usually
not, like,
faster shooters from what
that's not where the entertainment really comes from in his channel. It's from the silly fucking mask, like the stuff that he wears. It's it's definitely the personality.
If you haven't seen the Spud Hunter, by the way, on Twitch, he's fantastic. For those of you listening, he's got like this. I suppose you'd call it like a suit, like a latex or cotton suit or something that he wears.
Usually, he's just wearing a black Quake shirt, and he's got like an open face balaclava, and then just a white mask over the top. I don't know how he came up with that fucking mask, or what it's supposed to be.
It's like half of the yin yang thing.
Yeah, it's like the white half of it. But anyway, yeah, that's more or less what he. That's really not much of a description of what he's like either.
Very unique personality.
You kind of have to just go see it for yourself. It's the only way
you kind of really do. Yeah, you really do. He's very, very loud, very memey. He's got his own sort of vibe to it. It's great. He's an excellent entertainer. Right? He deserves to have money thrown at him.
It happens a lot. He's very God, he's got so many fucking overlays and transitions and things, and somehow he just knows where they all are.
Yep. He does a good job.
He's very good at controlling his OBS on the fly, different camera angles and over, like, just different scenes and stuff. It's fucking nuts. He just does a really good job of making the stream entertaining.
That's right. Yeah, he's a good entertainer. That's it, and that's why he deserves everything that he gets.
But that came from a very small community. So when you're saying like, oh, if the game's dying, community's small, blah blah blah, Quake had been dying for fucking ages, man, and he was still doing really well because his stream was entertaining enough that the Quake players were going there. He was a good player as well, but even if he wasn't, I think a lot of them still would have gone. Like maybe Big Dogs is another example of that.
he's PUBG though, yeah.
He's really entertaining, but he's not a very good PUBG player.
No. He's medium to good.
But he's fucking funny. He's funny.
He's
man.
really
he's
funny.
Entertaining. He's a good streamer.
He's a great character. I think.
He's fucking blowing up too. Like in such a short time, he's got a pretty decent following. Like he's always sub alerts are always going off. The guy's doing really well.
Good.
Because he found a. I don't know how much I want to say about that, but we'll just say that the personality that he has on display on stream is it's not even that unique. No, I wouldn't say that. Maybe because I lived in Rockingham for so long. It's not unique. There's heaps of people who are exactly like that in real life.
I have absolutely seen people like that at a train station at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's bringing that to Twitch, and I think that's something that was missing.
Yeah. Well,
I have not seen
since
another
NULLSCORE stopped streaming, I suppose.
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
No, yeah, that's a whole thing.
But anyway, yeah. And that's the thing. His camera quality's crap. He's using a headset mic. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter because it's all him.
It's still entertaining. So that's another one that he's getting a lot of support. He's not exactly begging for it. He's not being a beggar.
No, and I think that's where it all sort of. I mean, you kind of circle back on everything that we kind of talked about today because we sort of
that's the idea. We don't want to get too far away from our subjects, but this has all kind of been relevant, I think.
It's all related to content creation, but I think it's also related to taking pride in what you do and how you do that, putting effort in, whether that's by having someone edit your content for you, whether that's editing your own content, whether that's making sure that your edited content is edited well. Whether that's streaming with a purpose or streaming because there's a level of respect for your audience, I think. It's free entertainment, right? So that's what you have to remember. Right? Is anything above it being free, anybody subbing, anybody donating, that is a gift to you, right? Yeah. You're not entitled to any of that, right? You might think that your content's worth X, Y, Z, but the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, those other people have to sub. You cannot demand subs. Like, they can do it if they want to. They can not do it if they don't want to. You know?
And that's kind of why that's why I wanted to move away from a little bit from what I was doing and move towards what we've talked about. So I realized that a lot of the content that I was like editing, it wasn't what I wanted. I didn't want serious gameplay of PUBG.
Is it because that's what it was? It was highlights of PUBG stuff.
More or less, it was just the fights and like the interesting stuff that was happening. That's really all it was, and the wins
from a gameplay perspective.
From gameplay perspective only. Whereas I think a lot of like the better moments on both of our streams was just funny shit happening, like good jokes or good like. And that
Granny Simulator is one of my favorite vids that we ever make.
Yeah, I was the first one, so.
And that game is garbage.
It's a shit game. Like technically, it's a
good game, but it's a shit game.
On a technical level, like mechanics, it's garbage. It's so buggy.
It's horrible. It's a bin fire.
Broken. But the idea, like the concept, is fucking hilarious and fun. And that's enough to make a good video out of.
Absolutely.
Especially because like, a lot of I feel like our humor works well together a lot of the time, and that was what I wanted to do more of. I wanted to. The whole point of like me starting streaming to begin with was because I was playing games so much with friends, and there was just so many fucking jokes going back and forth that they
might spread the love.
yeah, they just people got to laugh out of it, and like sometimes you try and explain to someone else afterwards, like, oh man, this happened, and then blah 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 said this, and then it just you're trying to explain this conversation to somebody else who wasn't there,
Mm.
and your delivery's all wrong, or you just can't like you can't possibly explain why it was funny at the time in the moment.
You have to be there.
This yeah, this kind of would capture that. That was what I was going for with streaming, but I realized that that's very dependent on people being there when those things happen.
Yeah.
So I've kind of treated like I still do that shit streaming, but it's just I think the videos are a better way to do that,
Mm.
and that's what I wanted to that's what I wanted to
That's
try
what you
and
wanted to make.
that's what I wanted to get to, but
Mm.
this comes back to right back around to the start, editing your own versus paid editor.
There you go.
I haven't been
Full
doing
circle.
that. Haven't been doing that because if we say we record 2 hours or so, even an hour of elite footage, there's a lot of
Elite
editing.
Dangerous.
There. Yeah, elite dangerous. There's a lot of editing there, and a lot of work that needs to be done. And between us, I don't know that we would have time to get that out like quick enough.
Not at a reasonable time.
No.
No.
And then it would start to get to a point where it's like, well, we've got this other stuff to record too. When are we going to do that? Are we going to do that soon? We do that next week. Oh, I've got to edit this. I still haven't finished this X video. I've got this video, and then you've got videos you want to do for yourself as well, for like just your own content that's not involving anyone else. It starts to all build up.
Oh yeah.
And
to be clear, that's not something you're complaining about. I think
No.
it's just a problem. You know?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
I mean,
it's
just 'cause
just
we
a
both
thing
have
you have to
full-time
find a
jobs, so-
solution for. Yeah, exactly. We got shit to do.
Like for you,
Got bills
I'm
to
not
pay.
sure I'm not sure exactly what your personal life is like outside of work, but for me, I've got, I have a son that I spend time with on weekends. I have two fucking cats that need just fucking cat things. I maintain my own ute. Like it's all that shit takes up a lot of my spare time, to the point where I don't have spare time. A lot of my spare time is the time that I'm spending streaming.
Yep. Yep. I can get that.
So time to edit just doesn't fit in there anywhere.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. Now that might change in the future, but right, at this point, the last couple months, I have tried to find, like, I recorded some footage with Tiny, just a very short, like it was like a half hour or something. I was like, well, I'll see if I can cut this together. I haven't even opened that video. I haven't even found time to open that video and go, okay, what do I do with this? What do I want to do with it? Yeah. It's just sitting there. It's just sitting there on the stream rig doing nothing.
What was the footage from?
That 911 operator game.
I
added a whole bunch of mods to it, so there's like all custom events and shit. And then we just sit there and played through that and just ripped on it the whole fucking time.
That sounds like a fun vid.
There was a lot of good videos, but a lot of good jokes in there.
Yeah.
But if I don't find time to edit it, it's not going to matter.
Right.
And that's the other reason that I would rather hand it over to an editor, because at least I get something out of it. It just ties into what you were saying. Do you want to make some content or none? Because for me, all of that, like that half hour that I spent playing that game, I wouldn't say it was necessarily wasted, because I enjoyed making the video. But the goal was to produce a video at the end of it, and that hasn't happened. So if we were going to record an hour or 2 hours worth of elite footage, because I think in 2 hours we could
probably do something.
There's a lot of potential for laughs there.
Right.
But then what happens with that 2 hours of footage if neither one of us has time to edit it, because there's just other priorities? It just disappears.
It gets deleted off the hard drive.
It gets deleted to make space for new recordings that you want to do, and you haven't done anything with this elite shit yet, so get rid of it and the new one gets
exactly
recorded.
Right.
So for me, an external editor, while it's not, we're probably going to lose a little bit of our personal humor in there, our personal like touches to it, but
Yep.
it could come out with some good jokes or some stuff that we wouldn't expect, stuff that we wouldn't have thought of because we've handed it to somebody who is more experienced in editing in the first place.
Mm.
And you do know the guy that I'm talking about, who I was suggesting to begin with. You've seen a couple of his edits now, but what he was asked what he was asked to do, I think was pretty basic, and that's why those videos are like, there's good moments in there and some good editing and shit. But it is, I understand exactly what you mean by saying that it's a little bit samey to stuff that's out there. Like it's kind of
okay. So we should explain for people listening, because you and I both understand this conversation. But there is a bloke who does edits. That's about what I can put it. And I think he's just starting out. And he did edits for two streamers that we know, Tiny and Christina, right? And his work is very clean. That's the best way I can put it. He does good edits that aren't very messy, so they're not cut in really strange ways. There's no harshness to it. It all kind of comes together pretty nicely, but it doesn't, from what I've seen, there's not a huge amount of personality in it. I think that there was one where, I think one of Christina's vids where it was like a rage montage, and the whole idea of that was to show all these moments where she got angry and stuff. And that's more personality-driven content, but the way that the video came together, the way that the story was told, I didn't get a huge amount from that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense in my head. Like, when I look at, let's say...
So I think I understand what you're saying, and I think the reason that it comes across that way is because it just looks like stream clips edited and cut together. And that can only go so far.
Yes.
Because it's not one consistent, like...
You need to have an idea. There needs to be, I say, a theme, right? But your video, I think, you need to be able to describe what your video is, right? You need to be able to say, oh, this is a video where my mates mess around in COD and we pretend to be cowboys. Yeah? Or this is a vid that tells you how to set up a Go XLR audio mixer. Or this is a vid that compares apples to bananas, right? That vid it's like, this is a vid that contains footage of this person. And I don't think that comes across as strong as, this is a vid where, this person plays Call of Duty and they yell at it a lot, right? And I never really get that. I mean, yeah, the content in there is part of that, but there's so much to be said about telling a story through the edit, and that sometimes is missing for me. Is it a case of you're working with base material that doesn't allow for that story to be told? I don't know. Is it a case where that's not being shown through the edit? I don't know, because I'm not the one sitting in the chair. But when I'm viewing the video, it feels disconnected. That's probably the best way I can put it.
Okay, so I've seen the videos that have been edited, and start by saying they're not bad. I think they're good videos.
They're clean edits.
They're very good edits. I think that the footage, there's so much of that around that it doesn't look like, it doesn't come across as being too unique and different. And that's not because of the edit. That's because of the content.
It's gameplay footage of a first-person shooter. That's a AAA title.
And that's everywhere. Whereas what we did with, what you did with the Granny Sim was we went into it sort of not, like, you had no idea what the fuck it was, and I had played it a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, you gifted me the game. I'm pretty sure the first thing he says is, let me dump this turd into your Steam library.
Yeah. And the idea with a couple of the other videos that we were going into was that you had very little idea of the game, and I was more or less going to be trying to shepherd you through it.
Yeah.
And get some stuff done. And that I feel like that's more of an interesting video to me than just watching somebody play a first-person shooter and yell at it, unless there's like, unless there's some good reason, like something has happened, something interesting has happened. If they're just yelling at the game because the game is shit or broken or they're having a bad time or whatever, there's so much of that content that it's not unique.
Yeah.
It can still be funny and good, but it's not too unique.
But I think you're providing value in it. It's just the value is lessened by the virtue of the fact that there are other things like it.
Yeah.
Like that's literally it. Like you might have, your content might be worth a 5, right? You know, some arbitrary scale that says 5 is what your content's worth, right? And if you're making it at the same time that everyone else is making it, right? Maybe 10 other people are making it, then it's worth a 4, right? Then it's worth a 4. If 100 people are making it, then it's a 3.
Yeah.
Right? Like it doesn't change what you've produced, right? What you produced would still be a 5 if it was a vacuum. It's just worth a 3 because there are 99 other people with the same video, right? By the same token, let's say that you make that 5, but you're the only one that makes that video a 5. That's a 10. That is, it is easily a 10.
Nobody else is doing it.
Exactly right. If you are the one guy making that, you've got a 10 video on your hands. Easy 10, right? Not saying that we were the only people doing Granny Simulator, right? There were a lot of people that did Granny Simulator vids, but there are far less people doing Granny Simulator vids than there are doing Call of Duty Modern Warfare vids.
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons that we got such a good reaction to it at the time, was because there was like, you could find gameplay of it, but there wasn't much, at least that I could find, where I think it was both perspectives at the same time. Like
the game's so garbage. Like the personality really shines through in that, which is good. I mean,
it was also some of the jokes as well, I think.
I had a lot of fun editing it. I'm going to be completely honest. That's another reason for editing your own videos, is you just play and have fun.
Well, also better control over what jokes make it through and what ones don't. Because you cut some jokes out of both of those Granny Sim videos that I was like, oh man, that was such a good one though. And you either decided that it was too spicy for YouTube or that it just wasn't funny enough.
Okay, I'll tell you what, listen, you're coming to me now and you're saying I cut out jokes and they were really good. Some of the jokes that we made in that vid can never see the light of day. Dude, there are
I understand.
Horrible things.
Yeah, I know, I understand. Because I wasn't live on stream, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to say whatever dumb shit comes into my head. And I remember a few times you going, oh, just the fuck it, just, you couldn't even come up with a response. You were just making noises at the jokes I was making, and then you cut like all of those out.
And it's not like they're like horrible, like literally bad things that you're saying. Just spicy jokes that you got to go. But it was there's sometimes I think part of editing is knowing what goes on the floor. That's part of it as well.
And that's where this conversation was headed always from the start, which is that I trust you to know what needs to go onto the fucking cutting room floor. The same way that I would trust, there's a couple other people I know who edit videos, and I would trust the same thing. I know that they're going to know what will
exactly
get a video flagged and what is okay to allow through.
That's a whole nother conversation. That's funny.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it though? Like I'd rather have the worst shit I can get away with without it being technically against any sort of rules and getting the video fucking ruined.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, but just like terms of service in general, that's another conversation entirely. How that those get enforced and what you do with that, that's a whole thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't looked into any of that shit enough to have a conversation about it.
Maybe next time.
Maybe.
Because I know, I'm looking down at it now. We've been going for like an hour and 45.
Hour 45, yeah.
So
I guess another thing, the reason we did all this was to try and spark this conversation with other people that we knew, because we don't get a chance to talk to them too much about it on stream. Not at this sort of length anyway, because we have to play some fucking games.
Yeah.
If we're going to be on Twitch. But this was
right.
We do want to hear other people's point of view and perspectives on this. That was
Well, it's interesting,
what we
but it
wanted.
also gives us more things to talk about. Like that, you know,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of reasons to like look at people's feedback. Like somebody might come back and say, "Hey, look, I hire an editor for a reason that we both never considered," right? And you know that might flip the argument on its head. You know?
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I want to know. That's the kind of stuff I want to hear back.
Well, depending on how this is distributed, you know, maybe there's ways to do that. You can always join various Discords and stuff. Hit us up on Twitter, in stream.
Various Discords.
Various Viscords.
I mean, we have links to everything anyway. I think. I mean, what do we want to do? We haven't really discussed how we want to drag people into this.
That's true. We'll work it out. We'll find it out once we work on a title as well. If this comes up and it's already got a title, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we spent this whole time. We still don't have a title for whatever this is.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Maybe that's what we'll call it. Whatever this is.
So what is this? Hit him with
what is this?
The girl that you've been seeing for a few weeks. So what is this?
So what is this? We'll work it out. If it's got a title, then you'll know that we worked it out. I was about to say off stream, but we're not streaming, so
we're not streaming. Because usually we have these conversations on stream and it interferes with both of our streams when we do it.
That's right.
We have people in chat trying to join the conversation and we don't get a chance to talk to them properly. So this provides the opportunity for anyone of our, I guess most of it's our regulars, I think. It's usually our regulars who want to jump in on these conversations. So this way they'll be able to leave comments or, you know, message us directly or in Discord.
Yeah, and if you've ever got something you want us to talk about, like maybe you got something you got an opinion on, you want to hear other people's opinion on it, friggin' hit us up. Because I think you and I are pretty game to talk about most things. Well, but I mean, you know, some things we're not experts on, but I'll do a little bit of research. I'll find out.
It's funny that we have such different views on things quite often, but we don't fucking, I don't know, go for each other's throats, I suppose.
Well, that's because we're both sensible fucking human beings. We don't.
Yes, well, that's how it's supposed to be. I'm just saying that it's not common anymore.
Yeah, it's like I could disagree with you on something and still like you as a person, right? I'm not going to sit here and like a bunch of people are going to be like, oh, which one's better, garlic bread or cob loaf? And then all the cob loaf people are going to be like, fuck you. All right, garlic bread's garbage. And then all the garlic bread people are like, well, look, that's my mother, but it turns out she doesn't like cob loaf, so that's it, disowned. I'm adopted now.
Where did cob loaf and garlic bread come from?
Okay, well, look, man, I had this debate with a bunch of people, and I'm telling you that cob loaf is better than garlic bread. Right here.
Yeah. It's just more effort to make, that's all.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Totano.
Well, let's kill this
At some point, we have to press the big red button.
Mm-hmm. On my blue button.
All right.
Yeah.
Or blue button. Whatever.
It's fucking blue and green. What the fuck? All right. Well, yeah. Let's see what happens with this, and maybe we'll do it again soon, I guess.
Sounds good. Very keen.
All right, man.
All right. I'll see you later, my dude.
See ya.